Hey, it's Laniustron. The capitalist land is full of dangers, death claws, super mutants, or even Gary lurking around every corner. But instead of carrying the biggest gun, what if you decided to carry a stick? Well, I wonder, can you beat follow through with only the nail board? Let's find out. My neighbor this room matches my character's personality. Nailed it. And, like many things in life, our face must match our name. Majestic. Now let's go over the stats. Since the nail board is a melee weapon, the build is pretty straightforward. Its strength 9 for better damage, it's a piece of wood for crying out loud, perception 1, pretty useless for this run, endurance 9, I want to be a healthy bonky boy after all, charisma 1, completely useless for a wasteland barbarian, intelligence 10 for faster leveling, and agility and luck, I left these at 5 because honestly, I didn't know what to do with them. And that's it. While enjoying my birthday with people I may or may not like, let's go over the rules. First, I'm only allowed to use the nail board and its variant, the Board of Dedication, as my weapon of choice. And second, I must complete the main storyline of the game. And that's about it, really. I guess I could have made it more restrictive. I really should have. Maybe next run. My initial skills were melee weapons and repair. Unlike New Vegas, in Fallout 3, you need the repair skills at a certain level to further maintain and fix your weapons effectively. This way, I won't have to rely on vendors too much. As for my third skill, it can really be anything. I just chose medicine to make better use of my stim packs. Once 19, I was 19. I turned down both Amara and her gun. Sorry, no bonky, no guns. I did help Butch though, because I want that sweet plus 5 melee boost you get from his outfit. And with that, I finally left the sad safe vault behind and stepped out into the wasteland. Oh, and I leveled up, so that's pretty cool. At level 2, I put all my points into melee and chose the Little Leaguer perk for extra points in melee and explosives. I entered Megaton and said hi to my neighbors, then quickly left to acquire my weapon of choice. There are 3 things you need to know about the nail board. First, it's shit. Well, not bad, but certainly not good either. Second, the weapon's condition, absolutely garbage. With every hit, it feels like your piece of wood is ready to snap. Third, it has a variant called the Board of Education, surprisingly decent. Sure, its durability still wears down faster than a patient, but the damage is solid. As for where to find it, it's pretty simple. Basic super mutants often wield them as weapons, and might also encounter raiders using them. Alternatively, you could store across one while buying from a vendor. According to the Fallout Wiki, you can also find one around at the Hollow Memorial Cemetery. A pretty chill and friendly spot to visit early in the game, even if you don't have any weapons or armor. And there it is, our stick. Now let's get the hell out of here. Because I was nearby, I marked Paradise Falls on my map for later. That place will be our true test in the future. Alright, now let's fast travel back to Megaton and that's definitely not the kind of message you want to see the moment you equip a weapon. Shit. There, I talked to Mora and started her quest for the useless book. Before asking her to fix my stick, I grabbed the holotape to start the replicated main quest. Then I fast traveled back to Big Town to sleep and pick up the holotape. After that, I made my way to the Super Duper Mart for some easy XP and that's definitely not supposed to be there. Alright. Time to put on your big boy pants and head in, bonky boy. Once inside, I think I may have misjudged my piece of wood. It was actually dealing decent damage against the raiders, so that's nice. But here's the downside. After killing only 6 enemies, the nail board's condition was already bad. Yeah, the damage dropped was pretty obvious compared to before. Now let's compare its condition before and after taking down 6 enemies with it. Well, it could be worse, I guess, but it's still pretty low. Anyway, I collected the supplies from water and ranged a few more raiders. Here you can really see how little damage I was dealing, even when the raider didn't block the attack. So I let the robot handle it and headed back to Megaton to sell my stuff to Mortar, and then I had her fix my things. For the book quest, Minefield turned out to be easier than the last time. I collected the mines to sell later and even showed Arkansas how people used to fight back in his day. It was alright. While I was over in the air, I decided to head over to Clifftop Shacks to grab the MVP of this run. The place was crawling with super mutants, so I carefully walked around until I found a rock I could climb to sneak in through the back. Luck was on my side though. The Bonky brothers were busy fighting the robots, which let me slip in without any trouble. And there it was, my weapon for the rest of the run. The Board of Education. It's essentially the same thing as a nail board, but with higher damage. On my way out, I decided to take the win and quietly leave without getting spotted. Take the win and go. Back at Moyers, I completed 2 parts of the first chapter, leaving the radiation quest for later. It's perfect for clearing out any radiation I accumulate later. After selling the explosives I gathered, I made my way to Muriar's saloon, where I had to give up 100 caps for information about my father. For now, I'll be following the path you're supposed to take. As you can see, I fast traveled back to the closest spot that I had, and I learned 2 things. First, John fast traveled to a place where there's a Deathclaw waiting at the door. Second, Brian Wilkes is apparently a Deathclaw tamer, considering how the thing didn't attack him? The things you learn, huh? I entered the market, waited a couple hours, and left through the other side. Have you ever slept under the bridge and opened your eyes to see a Deathclaw staring back at you? No? Huh, must be the drugs then. I hit level 3 when I entered the metro right after taking down the raiders outside. I put all my points into melee weapons and chose the Swift Learner perk. My trip down there was pretty pleasant. Just a few mole rats and ghouls. Outside though, the super mutants were tanky, but luckily the BOS was there. I met Sarah and grabbed up armor for later. We made our way through the destroyed school where the BOS did most of the heavy lifting. I helped out a little though. But then came in the behemoth. And let me tell you, stupidity and a piece of wood do not mix well. First try, I tried killing the behemoth myself. I died. On my second attempt, I let the brotherhood soften it up before going in myself. I died again. Oh boy. But on my third try, I got tactical. I kept luring the behemoth back to the brotherhood whenever it wandered off to the rest in the corner. Sarah was doing great. My pride got the better of me. The hero inside me couldn't resist. As soon as I noticed he had just 1 HP left, I decided to finish it off myself. Oh boy, what a risk that was. But I did it. That's right, stay now. Take this stick and shove it up your... I met 3 Dog, but since I failed the speed check, he gave me a task to retrieve some dish, or whatever, in the Museum of Technology. On my way over there though, I saw a ghoul glowing even in death. I don't know what the hell that was. I leveled up again, putting melee weapon up to 95 and repair to 49. Then I picked the Little League perk for the plus 5 boost I needed to hit 100 in melee. On my way to the museum, I ran to a mutant carrying a nail board. And you know I couldn't pass the opportunity. I got that weapon by any means necessary. Oh, and I might have taken the wrong turn somewhere. When I finally found the right way, things were almost too easy. Ghouls and lone raiders didn't stand much of a chance. But when I reached their cave, there were probably 4 of them in a turret. I just ran for it. Along the way, I even found a ghoul who seemed to have some sort of personal vendetta against one of the raiders. Damn bro, what to do? When I finally arrived, luck was on my side. Things were going smoothly. Good damage, solid progress, and then I got another addiction. Oh, that's not good. As you can see, I couldn't risk breaking my weapon, so just to play it safe, I unequipped it. Apparently weapons can still break if enemies hit them even when they're not using them. Good to know. I grabbed a dish and made my way to the Washington Monument. There, I installed the dish and took a little nap to recover from my injuries. When I returned to GNR, 3 Dog wasn't too thrilled with my attitude. I didn't care about that. Anyway, I leveled up again. This time, I raised my explosives to 25 so I could get the house in Megaton, and put the rest into repair. For my perk of choice, I selected Educated. Back at Megaton, I disarmed the bomb and got myself a new crib. Neat. Oh, and I also finished the first chapter of Moira's book and left it at that. Next, I paid her to fix the Board of Education, and I was ready to head to Rivet City and follow the river. I don't really know why I did that. No matter, not some good old radioactive water can't fix, now with extra rats. Along the way, I took down some raiders who dared to stand in the path of a bonky wastelander. After that, I leveled up. At this point, I was worried about not being able to pass through Murder Pass to reach Vault 87. So I decided to boost my science skill to prepare for using the terminal later. My perk of choice? That is boy. I also took down another disgusting mutafruit stick and finally made my way to Rivet City. There, I grabbed the holotape and offered to help Zimmer find his missing tin can. But then I thought I could go straight to Pinkerton with only 3 holotapes, and yeah, I may or may not have panicked a little while doing the traps and my lyrics, which may or may not have resulted in a few deaths. Like that, you disgusting fish. Oh, hold on. Where are we? I'll be back. Luckily, my science skill was high enough to convince Mr. Holmes to spill the beans about Pinkerton. With the lead, I got back to Pinkerton and he gave me everything I needed to ruin Synth's life. I even tried asking Victoria what my reward would be if I sided with them.
Of course, if you help me, and thus the android, God and the universe will smile upon you. Is there any better compensation?
Yeah, Victoria. Hey Zimmer, you want that can opener back? Zimmer rewarded me with a new perk. It was worth it. Next, I talked to Dr. Lee, but before heading to the memorial, I stopped at the marketplace to fix my stuff. The memorial turned out to be a gold mine for nail boards. Those mutants sure love that weapon. I managed to gather enough to keep mine in good condition, though I plan to use them only if necessary. On my way to the vault, I spotted Tenpenny Tower and, with some time to spare, I decided to help out the folks there. I ditched what Gustav gave me and headed down taking out every zombie in sight. Honestly, I expected Roy Fields to put him up a fight. The guy went down like wet paper, and his girlfriend wasn't much better. Back at Tenpenny Tower, I claimed my reward and leveled up increased medicine, repair, and science. I picked the toughness perk for some added durability. I also stole the key and decided to pay Elter a visit. Unfortunately for him, his thousands of hours of no-scoping Warzone was not worth it. I was bracing for the guards to attack, but apparently even they were embarrassed by his aim, so I helped myself to his clothes and finally made my way to where Dad was. During Creed Lane, I chose what seemed like the true ending for the residents and activated the failsafe. Dad may or may not be a furry based on his answer. I leveled up again, this time at level 8, boost science and repair and choose the Bloody Mass perk for extra damage. After meeting Uncle Leo, I made my way to a Little Lamplight to start the quest to rescue the children from Paradise Falls. But instead of doing that right away, I decided to take a detour and go to Oasis to restart their quest. I sided with Mother Laurel to ensure her roots would expand across the wasteland. Inside the cave, I only killed one Mirror Lurk, slaughtering them all would have been unnecessary, and it would only damage my weapon's condition. I reached Harrod's heart and spread his roots. Okay, that sounds weird. Back outside, I completed the quest, and Laurel mentions that some of the other weed lovers had things to say to me. The only one who really mattered though was Lyndon. He handed me his old outcast armor, which, in my opinion, is pretty decent. With my new armor, I fast traveled back to Rivet City. From there, Dad and I worked together to fix the purifier. Until, of course, the Enclave decided to show up and interrupt our plans. The Enclave soldiers were tougher than super mutants, but still manageable. Back in the control room, Alden decided to use his half-brain and play it safe by staying outside the room. You can probably imagine what happened next. I mean, what can I say? When a game just works, it works. Unfortunately, I had to load the game. This time Dad died and Dr. Lee decided to start her own challenger run. I attempted to take out an Enclave soldier with what looked like a knife, I guess? She was doing her best. Kudos. And apparently Dr. Lee doesn't care about guards as much as I thought she did, considering how I managed to pass a 14% speed check to leave him behind. She just likes to act bossy, I guess. Anyway, we arrived at Citadel and I hit level 9. I boosted repair and science and I picked the Lady Killer perk for extra damage against females. A handy choice for my upcoming trip to Paradise Falls. I also got power armor training and checked the terminal to confirm my route to Vault 87. Since I didn't have the Child at Heart perk or high speech, my only option was to go and rescue the kids from Paradise Falls. Alright. This part I always struggle. Those layers may be regular humans, but they deal heavy damage, and if you're not careful, they will swarm you like mosquitoes on horse shit. With my build, I was all set to do the first try. I had the armor, I had a good stick, and the levels. But the game crashed and said, nope, you're not having that, buddy. On my second try though, Clover proved to be an absolute tank, soaking up more hits than anyone else there. After freeing the kids, I leveled up again. With my major skills already maxed out, I put science up to 95 and the rest into speech. I took the Entomologist perk for bonus damage against insects. Back at the Little Lamplight, I used my science skill to activate the terminal and gain access to Vault 87. I leveled up once more, this time putting all my points into speech. I did consider investing in barter for discounts, but since I wasn't buying anything, just repairing gear, it didn't make much sense. Instead, I opted for another level that is boy, and maxed out my science to 100. By this point in the game, most enemies weren't much a threat anymore. Sure, my damage wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad either. The only real downside was my weapon's condition. On the bright side, I was wearing some pretty solid power armor, so my defense was almost excellent. Based on my perks, levels, and setup, this run really shows how you can turn even mediocre garbage weapons into solid ones with the right build. Then again, I didn't set any major restrictions aside from the weapon rule. Maybe I should have done it. Well, next run perhaps. Anyway, I freed Fox and he retrieved the gag for me. Then Half-Brain showed up and tossed me into his weird dungeon with all the kinky vibes. Luckily the president wasn't about that, and decided to set me free. And guess what? I leveled up again! That Follow 3 loves giving me levels. At level 12, I boosted medicine and speech and selected robot expert perk. After meeting the president, I convinced him to shut himself off and left the crazy dungeon of kinky whatever the enclave does down there behind. I met Fox outside. Sorry buddy, this run is already too easy as it is. Maybe next time. From there, I fast traveled back to Megaton to listen to the distress signal from Vault 101. I wanted to help them in my own unique way, by using my science to skills to temper their system. And the overseer even got a harsh yearly check before me the end of my stick. I even tried tricking Amara, but honestly, her over-the-top drama was pretty funny.
Destroy the vault like this. Only an outsider would do something like that. Someone like you.
Anyway, their problems were solved and I fast traveled back to the Citadel to wrap things up. At this point, I handed over the FEV and leveled up again. Surprise! This time I increased medicine and speech, picking the little bad perk, drink water. As for the final battle, there is no secret, just follow the BOS while they literally do everything. Heck, Sarah Lyons was even out there striking pose like she was ready for an interview or some shit, completely ignoring the explosions in the background. What a boss. Together, we wiped out the Enclave, the Colonel, and his minion. And, in the end, I thought maybe the world wasn't ready for the bonk guy. So I made the choice to activate the project myself. And with that, I finished the game with the nail board. Honestly, that was pretty fun. Taking garbage and turning it into something useful is incredibly satisfying. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Laniustron. Until next time.